We got Gabriel Garcia here. Man, you have one hell of a record. You're a Purple Heart, right?
Bronze Star recipient.
Bronze Star recipient. Right. Airborne.
Right. Airborne.
Army. Recruit.
All recruit. Pretty much name it. Pathfinder. Try to do everything. I said if I want to join the Army, I want to do everything it throws at me and defend this wonderful nation of ours.
Yeah, you got to tell me about some of the cool stuff you did when you were in there. But first, why are they still on the January? You are another person, along with your buddy here, but that they're attacking on this January 6th thing. So what happened January? Why is January? I've talked to a lot of people, but I still don't understand what really happened. Like, what the hell happened? So you were there January 6th. You were at the Capitol, and what really happened that all this is going on?
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear it wasn't planned. I was out there to support my president, Donald J. Trump, and went out there. I just got a text on my phone when I was going back to a hotel saying there's people outside the Capitol protesting. So I decided just to go over there. Saw a bunch of people marching down Pennsylvania Avenue, and like I said, there was nothing planned, even for the protest. And a lot of people believed that the election was stolen and just wanted to make their voices heard.
So what are they coming after you for? What are they saying you did?
Well, that's the thing. I got arrested first with 4 misdemeanors and a felony, which was the civil disorder. A month later, they throw in obstruction of justice, which holds 20 years. And that's what I want to know. What's the difference between the guy to my left and my right? I never fought with Capitol Police. I clearly have video where I'm saying, hey, you guys want water? Where's the exit? And stop pushing. They're doing their job. We're not here. We're not Antifa. We're not the left. We're not here to destroy the people's house. And at the end of the day, they just threw that on me, I guess, for who I am. They saw me as a threat because I'm a military veteran too. And
that's crazy because, you know, obviously they went after Roger Stone. Then John Tiggum in Benghazi, correct, went to his house in Colorado and tried to accuse him of being there on January 6th when he was in Colorado on January 6th. Another vet who, for them to go after him, it's just ridiculous. As if they're not destroying him enough. Then they're going after you because, what, you ran for state representative in Miami and, correct, ran 1.5 million and, correct, the other people couldn't. So you go to support who you want.
It's like they don't want me to run. Did you do anything
violent at all?
Not at all.
Say anything? Nothing.
Nope. Didn't steal anything. That's why I'm here speaking with you today. I wasn't put in jail because I didn't fight anyone. Wasn't my intentions to fight anyone or destroy anything. I was even telling people, do not go into any offices. That's not who we are.
So if anything, you were trying to calm the situation.
Right. I even have video of it.
Wow.
I have proof of it. And
you've submitted that to the courts?
I have.
And what did they do? Just toss it?
They're going to have to use it when I go to trial, but being a D.C. trial, I was one of the first ones. I put up my own money to do a survey, and it found out 93% think that you should be guilty just for being there in D.C. that day around the Capitol Hill area as an insurrectionist. Mm-hmm. So that's going to tell you the mindset of that jury, of how they're going to think. There already been 4 cases, and all of them been convicted guilty, to include a New York police officer, retired police officer.
So for you and to sum this up, you know, because this is all pending and everything with the January 6th, what was their agenda? January 6th happened. They knew it was going to happen, right? What was the left's agenda when January 6th happened? Because they're still hassling everybody over it. This is years ago. When was this? 2 years ago?
15 months. And they're still arresting people to this day. And DOJ just got more money, Department of Justice, to go after more Patriot.
They got more money for it.
Right, and 113 more prosecutors that they just put on the payroll for it.
Did they not see the fucking border or inflation or anything else?
Nothing else.
Just January 6th.
January 6th. And my question is, the same people on the left that disrupted the Kavanaugh hearings, none of them are being charged with obstruction of justice, which that's what I'm being charged with. That carries a maximum of 20 years.
Man, what they did to that Kavanaugh, you know, there's wrong and there's wrong.
Right.
And evil. you know, you do something wrong, it's wrong. You do something really wrong, man, that was really wrong. Then there's evil. And what they did to Kavanaugh was evil. That was a clean man. You made that man cry in front of his family.
Correct.
How do you do that to somebody just as a human being? And then you lied about it. You put a stick up there to lie. She didn't even know what she was talking about.
That's because the left doesn't care. And look at what happened in the summer of 2020 with all the riots across 20 different cities. There was about 1 to 2 billion in destruction versus January 6th was 1 to 2 million. And they want to compare apples to apples here. I mean, we weren't burning down a city, or there was more murder cases. About 26, I think, police officers that got killed over those riots. That doesn't even come up. There's not even a DOJ website that's strictly hunting down these Antifa people or BLM. But when it comes to January 6th, they're putting all the effort under the Biden administration to go and make their lives miserable and try to take them down.
So other than the amount of destruction, how would you compare how the DOJ handled your situation in 16 and 2020 with the actual riots? Like, if you had to compare the two, say you're not for Trump, you're just an observer. How would you compare the two?
Well, I could tell you just by doing actual legal case research. And the fact is that, for example, one of my charges is civil disorder. And there was 15 from Portland alone that got charged with civil disorder. And it was in the best interest of justice that they dropped it.
Why?
So that's what I want to know. Why did they drop them? And why
would they drop that?
They got dropped? 15. And you could look it up.
Set up? Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But.
And that's what I understand. And they said they dropped some of them because they weren't violent. Well, guess what? I wasn't violent either, so.
Why was yours dropped?
What's that?
I said, why isn't his dropped then?
Yeah. That's what I want to know. We tried getting it dropped. My attorney has put in motions and gets denied and continues to get denied.
Okay, well, it constantly has to go through D.C., right?
Yep. And I have the same.
Good luck.
I mean, I have the same judge as Roger Stone.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Good luck, man. Yeah. Now, compare that then to what they're doing, the DOJ is doing with 2020. Have they done anything?
No, a lot of it has been a slap in the hand.
Have they even brought anybody to court?
No, a lot of these people got off with nothing, and they let them easily walk away. They threw bottles. The famous Molotov cocktails that they make over there in Portland, the courthouse, they tried breaking into it. They fought off with federal police agents, and
nobody got charged with anything.
Pretty much nobody. They let them go, and that's it.
So now, how does that make you feel?
Oh.
That they're dragging you to court? Okay, Bronze Star, Army vet, did everything you could at the top. John Work Talks. This episode is sponsored by Let's Get Checked. Are you the man your father was? Recent studies have shown that men's testosterone levels are dropping substantially since the 1980s at about an average of 1% per year. Low testosterone can have all types of health effects. It can affect your muscle mass, memory, mood, sex drive, you name it. And yes, low testosterone is more common the older you get, but can affect men at any age. So let's talk about today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. They're a worldwide leader in at-home testing kits, and their male hormone test lets you easily test your testosterone levels at home. You can order a testing kit that will be delivered to you in a discreet packaging with next-day delivery. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available to you in your secure online account within 2 to 5 days. These results are reviewed by a clinician, and a member of Let's Get Checked nursing team may call you to review your results. Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA approved and CAP accredited, which is the highest ranking levels of accreditation. So, if you want to test your hormone levels without having to leave your home, visit trylgc.com/MSCS. Special offer for MSCS media viewers. Use promo code MSCS at checkout and get 30% off your test. The link is in the description below at the top. This episode is sponsored by Aurora. Do you know what the fastest growing crime rate in America is? For years, this crime rate has been surging and affecting millions of Americans. I'm talking about identity theft, and there's a new victim every 14 seconds. Yet despite this, those who have had their identity stolen, they act shocked when it happens. That's why I'm excited to partner with Aurora, who is sponsoring this video. Aurora's identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software all combined into one easy-to-use app. Aurora monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers and sends alerts fast, right to your phone and email. When it comes to fraud, every second matters. Don't put your family at risk. Try Aurora free for 2 weeks and see if your personal identifiable information has leaked to the dark web. Start your free trial at aurora.com/MSCS. Link is in the description below.
On my door. Luckily, I saw the police lights and opened the door. And once I said that, right away they came and started pointing right at me.
I'm sorry to hear that. How's your family handling it?
Well, they were more pissed about CNN and other news stations showing up to the house and harassing.
Now, you had a call with the New York Times prior to this?
Correct.
And then what were they drilling you about?
Well, I'm surprised it wasn't really about January 6th. It was my involvement more, and I don't know why they care about local politics instead of worrying about what's going on in New York. But I'm also a member for the Republican committee in Miami, Florida. So they're just trying to dig up some more information on, are they letting me stay because of January 6th? Are they treating me any different?
I'm surprised they're letting you go to the trial on the 22nd. Did you think they would let you go to that?
Well, it's my right. I have my other attorney is from D.C., so I have the right to counsel and meet with them.
And that's about the Oath Keepers, right?
What's that?
That's about the Oath Keepers?
No, this is just a regular guy. He doesn't belong to anything. But he kind of mirrors the same charges. So I want to see how they're going to treat him and how they pick the jury, and just to get eyes on.
Get an idea of what
I'm looking at. Exactly.
And what is the Oath Keeper? With the January 6th situation, what is this Oath Keeper thing?
Well, I never even heard of the Oath Keepers till
me neither.
January 6th.
Go to slide 2.
Yep.
They have a thing, and it's called the Oath Keepers.
Correct.
I thought maybe you would know.
No, I know who they are now, but I'm saying never. It's the famous pic. They got me somewhere in the side. There we go. On the right side.
Where are you at? On the right. You're right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
As other military veterans.
So if you look there, if you're listening to this, you got 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got, say, 20 military vets that they went after?
Correct. And I had to request the transcript. I had Chief Justice Howe, which she's the main judge in D.C., where she said she felt that I was a threat to society because I'm a veteran. And I couldn't believe I heard that. I had to request the transcripts to read it with my own eyes. And that's exactly what she said.
Now, when you see this and they have that red line around there, and then you're outside of the red line, what does that red line represent? I guess charged, right?
Right, with conspiracy, meaning that the government thinks they planned something out.
Somehow, some way, it was plotted. Right?
And I could tell you right now, there was no plot. It just happened in the moment. But the media keeps drilling, even with the J6 committee. They just want to find a smoking gun and point a finger, or hopefully someone talks and says, hey, this guy in the Trump administration gave some funding or something happened. That's another thing. They went after all my funding. I've been kicked out of Chase Bank, which I had. Even my business has suffered from...
They just kicked you out? They just closed your bank account because you're you?
Because of me. They didn't even give me a reason. I went in person, and they're like, sorry, we don't... Airbnb got banned from that too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How can they ban from Airbnb?
From Airbnb. A lot of J6 have been banned from, pretty much they're trying to, even my platform where I was raising money for Kids and Go, first time it got shut down. I don't have Cash App. They don't want me to even...
You can't even get a Cash App?
No Cash App.
Wow, they got you shadow banned times 10, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, and you also were censored like hell on every platform, right?
I just use Telegram. That's where I have my own channel. And
they kicked you off all the other ones?
Twitter, Facebook, you name it.
Never gave you a reason why?
No reason. And I have pictures there from even a buddy of mine that died in Iraq that I can't get back.
Wow. And you tried to mesh them all. It's useless.
It's useless.
Because you already know you're just going to get frustrated trying.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. And let me guess, you have no idea what specifically it was that they kicked you off for.
Well, put it this way. If you put my picture on Facebook, some of my friends try to help me with raising money. They banned them for 30 days because they said it's raising funds for a dangerous individual. A guy that served this country that's never been in trouble with the law.
I don't mean to keep bringing this up, but Tig, he has that. What is that? USDA.
Yeah.
It's called like USDA, right? It's a defense. It says defense fund. You know, to fund the vets.
Right.
You can't put that on any. So when he comes in and I post his links, you know, to try to help out the vets, it's not even for him.
Right.
He's doing what the government should be doing. You know, so when the vets get out and there's no one to go to, him and his buddy even built an app where, like, say you're a vet, you got out of the military, you know, you did some crazy stuff, you're just not feeling comfortable. He has an app where you sign up for the app, they verify that you're a vet. You know, you got to send in your credentials and everything. And then you have a group of vets on an app that if one of you aren't feeling that great, you know, maybe you flashback, whatever it may be, you have somebody to contact. Now, why the hell is he doing that? While they're trying to arrest him for everything like they are you, the government should be fucking doing that, making that app so vets have people to talk to. Because in the end, the vets are going over and keeping the president safe and not blown up, technically.
Well, I belong to the great VA of Miami. Sarcastically.
Yeah, I know.
And they have some guy that's never been in war, and you could probably call them up because every time you go, they try to harass you with that. Like, to say, hey, look, we're doing stuff for you, so just shut the hell up, and here's a number if you ever need a. But we tend to listen to our brothers in arms, and we like talking to them, and whatever issues, I trust somebody that's been there versus some guy with a degree that sits somewhere in a desk.
Now, you want the truth because the other social medias are hit. You'll be all right. When Elon takes over, I don't know if you'll go back, but you'll be back. Yeah. He's got to wait 6 months.
Correct.
But you think you'll go back? You'll go back.
I probably will, just to piss off some liberals.
Yeah, you'll go back.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants.
Yeah, good. And that's how it should be. Yeah. Even the left, I don't agree with 99.9% of stuff they like to spew out, but I believe in our democracy and having the right to say what you want to say. So that's something that I don't understand why the left always gets mad, upset if we have our own opinion different than theirs.
Well, because then they don't have control.
And that's the thing. They want control.
And Elon certainly didn't come in to make the money. He really came in because his mind's on a different level, and he knows that, like we've said many times, if you can't say, I hate you, Tommy, and I can't say, I hate you, Gabriel, and then we talk about it, that's no type of civilization, right?
Correct.
And his theory was, without having that back and forth, civilization can't survive.
No, it's not a one-way conversation. Look at our Constitution that I said, how it got brought up. They sat down for 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm sure there was a lot of headaches, and they came to an agreement.
Do you see he posted, if something happens to me on Twitter?
Now, we were talking about that.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think because remember, he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
First off, in my opinion, if they were coming for him, he would be 100 million times steps ahead. The guy's got more satellites than anybody on the planet.
Right.
And his IQ is way higher than the planet combined, in my opinion, right? So he's going to see it. Do you think he might have just said that for any of those people who like really hated Twitter just to draw him back in? Remember how smart he is. And you know that when that came out and was on the news, everybody had to go look real quick on Twitter, even those who were done forever on Twitter.
Right.
You think that's why I did that?
I think also
might be a little worried.
just to troll a little bit on the left. I saw some of the comments from my friend's account where he sent me screenshots like, "Oh, Hillary Clinton's coming after him," or I know, for example, cryptocurrency went down just because he tweeted something like that. I was like,
"Is Elon a beast or what?" He is just so cool, right?
Yes, I love the guy.
And how about he's the only one that sends that satellite up there to help him? He's the only one with the balls.
Right. I love what he tweeted when he said, put back cocaine and Coca-Cola. I was like, this guy's tweets are awesome.
Now, when you're seeing him and you see what he's doing, really, helping out another military, did that really touch you?
Yes. Anything that helps out fellow veterans is a big thing for me. I'm also part of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW. I know John Rorick's dad was part of it as well. And to me, my fight for veterans doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It will continue.
And then when you see a guy, the richest man, technically, asset-wise, in the planet, the richest guy in the planet, does not have to do any of this shit. Buys Twitter to get rid of the censorship, open source, and then is the only one to send the satellite up to help Ukraine. This is the richest guy in the world. He doesn't have to do this.
Nope, he's doing the government's job pretty much.
So who's for the U.S.? The administration or Elon, who's from Canada? We think, or another planet.
Yeah, I'll take Elon over the current administration. That's for sure.
Hell yeah,
100 times. And he's done. I mean, even if he could buy Facebook, that would be great. So if he listens to your podcast,
I think
go for Facebook next.
All the software he's buying and Spotify, I think Twitter will take over Facebook. 2 years. I think it's going to be all Twitter and all Spotify.
Good.
That's what I really think.
All right. I need to get back in there and put myself in some trunks for my Instagram.
Yeah.
That I've been banned on too. So
now the biggest thing with all this, so you have the January 6th, all that BS. You have the censor, all that BS. How do you get the election, integrity back where people believe in it? Because, through the grapevine, 2024 smallpox vaccines ramped up like crazy right now. Now, if they come out with smallpox right around, March, April, around the election, now you got the mail-in votes again.
Yeah, I don't have no trust whatsoever in those mail-in ballots. I don't know if you've seen the 2000 Mule.
Yeah.
A great movie. And
well, I don't trust them at all, but if you put out another pandemic, that would give them a reason to do it.
Exactly. Well, they're saying already, the administration saying by the fall.
By the fall.
For the midterm elections, supposedly COVID is going to ramp up again.
Well, remember they said it was in China. China closed down for like a week.
Correct.
And now they're back again. So that was a good play.
So I think they're going to try doing that again.
To sabotage these ones.
Right. And that's what it looks like.
And then they'll do the same thing to sabotage 24.
Correct. And then if I say that.
I'm saying it, not you.
I know, no. But the reason I'm saying what I'm going to say is a judge, I don't know if you saw, there was a guy that was dressed like a caveman. He was already convicted. His dad's a judge in New York. He's from New York. And the judge said, well, I hope you're done chasing rabbit holes. So you're saying if I have a different opinion than you, even if it was stolen or not stolen, that's what makes this country great. I got my own opinion, and you don't have to come after me, in certain ways just because I have a different opinion than you.
So how do you think we get the integrity back? It's not going to happen in one election. Like, how do you get it back?
I would love to see where you go in person, like way back in the days. Bring IDs. It's okay to show an ID. I don't understand why people are so scared of using their IDs, and it's for a reason, to identify you. And
do you think if a Republican gets in, or even an independent gets in, that will come back?
I will hope so. And I would like to see even the machines to go away. Look what happened with Al Gore and Bush back in 2001.
It should be the voter card and your ID.
And that's it.
And physical.
Right, physical. Just put it in and that's it.
Do you see that happening in 2024? If you had a guess.
Probably certain parts of the country. I don't think everybody will be on board, but maybe certain states, yes.
Do you think enough?
Not enough, no.
I don't think so either.
No.
I always say this. I got to see Rob if he agrees. I think if Michelle Obama runs, no chance. She wins. Hands down, eyes closed. Too powerful.
Well, it depends who's running against her.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody. They've already been thrown out Hillary, and you notice like Hillary's popping up a little bit more lately, and she's not holding any weight. No. I think they're like throwing her out there to see what kind of reaction they get right now, and they're not getting much.
Maybe bring back Bernie Sanders.
Well, no. Oh, hey, Bernie's coming back because he wants that fucking paycheck again.
Yeah.
That's what Bernie does every 4 years. Oh, election, I'm running. Because, he was the only one that really could have given Trump somewhat of a run for his money because, very socialist. Hey, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that. It's very appealing to
a young crowd.
To a young crowd that doesn't really understand yet,
right.
And they knew that Bernie, at minimum, would take a ton of votes away from them. So if you didn't like Trump, you weren't really for them. You would just go with Bernie.
Correct.
Right? So you're paying him his $20 million that he gets every 4 years, and he's out of the way. That guy, I bet you that guy's got $250 million sitting from just running, just to get him out of the way.
Right after the donation money, where
well, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
He's running. He's ahead. He's neck and neck the last two elections. Hey, Bernie, here's 20. The next one,
Yeah.
Bernie says, oh, no, not 20 this time. You guys need
40.
this one. I want 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting pretty.
Right.
Then, on top of all that, while you're going to court, harassed, and everything else, you have a laptop from Hunter Biden that just gets pushed under the rug.
Correct. And that's one thing that I don't understand. And I think we spoke about this before, was the if that was Trump Jr., I'm sure all hell will be.
If that was any of us in this room, we would be in a hold, waiting to go to court. They would keep us in the hold forever, and then eventually get to court, back to the hold.
They still have my cell phone, and
I'm sure they fucking do.
I'm sure they're enjoying all the jokes and stupid crap that I post. So have at it, enjoy. I have nothing to hide. It's not like I had interests in China or any foreign country.
So, in your opinion, other than selling crack, how does the son, Hunter, get $6 million? And how does Joe live in a $16 million house when the president makes, what, $400K a year?
About.
And he was never president.
Right.
So let's just say over his
salary about $233 or something like that a year.
200.
Right.
Let's go. So 10 years he makes what, $2 million?
Well, you got to throw inflation. Back then they probably made like 88.
88.
And they keep giving themselves a raise every other year. So
you would agree that there's no way in hell he could afford $16 million on top of the $6 million from that the kid has.
Right. Exactly.
So between the two, you got $22 million that nobody can account for, and a laptop, physical, with information on it, and the information that was in the laptop leaked, blocked part of it out, and nothing.
Well, the guy apparently went to Europe, or I don't know what part of.
He was just on Fox. The guy who had it.
Right. And
he looks a little.
Yeah, his eye wasn't looking.
yeah. I mean, I respect the guy.
Yeah.
You know, he might have an issue, you know.
No, yeah, I don't mean it like that. I'm saying that that he put it out and then all of a sudden now has to go somewhere because he fears for his life.
Yeah, they're attacking him.
And they're attacking him. And yeah, if you have hard evidence, what's the big deal? He's coming up with it, and liberals will still be like, oh, no, that's fine. He didn't do that. Or oh, that's not as bad as what Trump has done.
And how frustrated does that make you to see that? Like, you turn on the news every day, and it's not, maybe once a week you'll hear about the laptop. And meanwhile, you and your friends have court dates.
Yeah, they don't talk about it. Nothing's going to happen. I know nothing will happen. It sucks, but that's the reality.
Rob, from being in the news for all the years, why would they go away from it?
Well, it was on like the local level, but on a national level, I mean, there's agendas, there's people in charge positions that make those decisions. May not be the reporter's decision, it may not be the producer's decision, but whoever their boss is will be like, nope, we're changing this isn't coming out. So you listen to your higher up, right? I mean, it's a chain of command. If you don't, you're out of a job. And I think that's what happens a lot of the times, is they just are told by a higher up that we're not airing this story, or if there's nothing there, it's not true, and they move on.
No. And then when you look at it, you put on the news, even Fox, they've gone, like we were talking about, they've gone away from the war. They're not on the war like they used to be.
Right.
They're certainly not on the laptop. Even Hannity, he'll throw it around for 5-10 minutes, and he's like the most extreme that there is. You know what I mean? He'll throw around it for 10 minutes, whatever. On all the channels, even the border. You don't even really hear much about the border anymore. And that Mexican border scares the hell out of me.
Well, I used to live right down the road in El Paso. I was stationed there.
Now, do you think with that border, do you think that they have that strategically set up? Because they have to walk like hell to get to the Mexican border. Like if they're coming from Cali, they'll go through the Mexican border.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long walk. Is there like some guy...
Coyote.
A coyote?
There's people that pay the money and they have transportation set up, even in those border towns. They're selling stuff to cross the border, book bags, snacks. You could tell clearly, even things to put on your foot when you walk on the sand. That way it doesn't leave a track.
So it's all organized before they start that walk.
Correct.
Because you got to figure, in that walk, there's a bunch of cartel, which is a multi-billion-dollar gang.
Correct. Human trafficking, too, that happens through our borders, and they get their cut. Even if you're just a regular guy coming, I don't know, from Venezuela, Nicaragua or something, you're going to have to pay money to somebody there just to get across.
Like, did they forget that terrorists come through the border too? And a lot of fentanyl?
Yeah.
But let's just get rid of the...
They got 3 Chinese the other day that...
That's all.
Yeah.
Didn't they get them in Miami?
No, through the border, crossing the border. Yeah.
Jeez. I heard in Miami that if you want to come in through Miami and you have somebody in your family that lives here in Florida and has a job, you can buy a ticket for $15K and you can get right over.
I never heard of that one.
All that I heard from, I don't want to say who, but like, I'm sure it's not legal, but you can call a family member and one way or another, there's somebody they're in cahoots with, $15K, you get a ticket and you come over.
Well, you can also do I think it's called the E1 visa, where you say, yeah, I'm opening a little stand in the mall. It's my own business. And they give you a visa to come over.
That easy, huh?
Yeah.
Man.
If you have the money, you come in.
And in that Mexican border, there was a bunch of cops. For years they were doing it. They were getting guns and taking them over to Mexico to the cartel. Mm-hmm. Now think about it. A cop's making, at best, $50,000 a year. No. Maybe in a really good state, definitely not here or anywhere I've been,
right.
60, right?
Right.
After taxes, then you want to undercut the police. Cartel comes say, hey, look, how much is that AK? $5K. Bring me 20 of them, I'll give you $20K. This is a multi-billion-dollar
Are you talking from the Mexican side?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a lot less than that. And yes, they're...
No, I mean on the U.S. side. So the U.S. cops were going over to Mexico, right? They weren't having any trouble going over there. It's when you come back in, they're up your ass. Right. So these cops in Texas were taking guns over to the cartel, selling them, doing it once a month. They come back, hey, dude, Garcia, man, we just made $500,000 in one run. Yeah. We're making $60,000. Our wives are happy, and next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. They finally got them, but there's 100 more people doing it.
Yeah, that happened also during the Obama administration, the Fast and Furious. They've got that operation where they were just smuggling guns into Mexico. Law enforcement.
They made that quiet quick.
Yep, and making a killing.
So when you go to deal with this, do you have a good defense strategy planned out, or do you think that they already have their mind made up and it's going to be what it's going to be?
It's going to be what it's going to be. I could have the best defense, even
Johnny Cochran.
I could resurrect them and bring them back, and it's still not going to look good, especially in a D.C. Jury. That's going to be definitely very not too keen with what I did. Let's just say that.
And you ran for what, state representative?
Correct.
In Miami?
Yep.
You raised $1.5 million?
Correct. During COVID with only 93 days.
Congratulations. What, 93 days?
Well, I had the support of Oliva, which was the current Speaker of the House.
And DeSantis called you and told you to run again, didn't he?
Yes.
I always say his name wrong. DeSantis.
DeSantis. Yeah. That was when I finished with running before all this happened, and he said, don't give up and try again.
If this got cleared, would you try again?
I probably will, yes. The way this country, something in me, it's not just, I don't do it for the money or power. It's just, I love my country. I always want to make sure it definitely never falls into communism. My grandfather had a big part raising me, and one of the reasons I joined the military too. And being from a Cuban background, I never want to see this country go to communist.
How close do you think we are to being, I see the signs, but how close do you think we are to becoming a communist country? As in years, I guess would be the best way, if nothing changes.
Well, I think we're already heading there. I'll give you a perfect example. I got banned on everything, even my own bank account. That's something I'll never...
That bank account's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Even Airbnb, for example. I know they're private companies, but what happened to freedom of speech? I feel like they're already trumping over my freedom of speech. And not only that, it's I say something or anything, I feel like they say it'll be held against you. So I feel like my freedom of speech is going away more and more.
Well, thankfully you got Elon. Really. So you're on Truth. Can you pull up tab 1?
Yep.
Now, right now, they just have that for mobile, right?
Yes.
They got to get that on desktop.
They do. And not only that, I don't. It's actually my girlfriend that's helping me run it because I don't have iPhone. I have a Android, so it's not on Android yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was saying that they were waiting to turn it to Android.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, the ecosystem's bigger with Apple.
Yeah.
You'll join Twitter. This is cool, but it's not big enough to beat Twitter. You know, exactly. It's cool for now until Elon comes in and opens it up,
fixes it up,
and then this will be here and a cool thing to play around with, kind of like a Patreon. But I think this will last. But they have no shot against Twitter.
Oh no,
or any of them. But it's a good place to go until that's all worked out, because that could take a year.
It could take a while to board, or everybody's going to be against changes right away.
Oh yeah,
even though
they're going like this because they got 6 months to delete everything they can. Right. They probably got 7,000 guys in that room with the fastest hands on the planet. Delete. Because once he takes over, they got to give him that source code.
And then what I noticed is the left, they could put whatever they want on Twitter. You put something in right away, they'll go, and I guess it has a thing where you could report someone, and like that's their safe space. So what's going to happen once?
It's going to be crazy when he steps in, and there's no favoritism.
No.
You know what I mean? And they'll give him hell because they'll say, well, you know, this guy said this guy said that. And I really don't think he cares. I think he'll just let the algorithm figure it out. And then when it's real crazy, he'll ban it. But other than real crazy, I don't think he will.
Yeah, I should be able to say, for example, I'm against transgenders, just to give you an example. In schools and learning about it in our kids, you know, first graders, they shouldn't have to be learning about that. And if I were to write something like that nowadays, I'm sure Twitter will ban it right away.
6 months, you better write it.
Well, it's my opinion, and like I said, no one has to agree with it. And same way I don't agree with some of the crazy left.
Right.
Just my.
Nobody's ever going to always agree.
Right.
But you have to be able to disagree.
Correct.
You know, and
it's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. My thing with that is, do what you want, but now you want to be treated normal. Okay, fine. Now you're normal. Well, when you're normal, you're going to get made fun of. You get made fun of. I get made fun of. So you complain. You want to be treated normal. Well, now you're normal, but you don't want to get your balls broke. You're at a comedy show. You say something about trans, gay, whatever it may be. It's a comedy show.
Right.
But you want to be normal. Well, if you want to be normal, then you got to take all the shit that every normal person gets, right?
Well, you can't just dish it and...
But you don't want to be normal. You want to be special. And that's where it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and the left has been hiding behind Twitter for way too long now, and they're just about to be heartbroken. And
they got that little emoji. You know, you don't have iPhone. I don't know if Android has it. The emoji where the head's popping off.
Yes.
All their heads are fucking popping off
exactly.
right now, right?
I'm just picturing them when Trump won, that crazy girl with the vest where she's like,
Yes. Well, wait till Elon has control and he hits that button and everything's different. Their heads are going to go boom, because that was their safe spot.
It is.
That and CNN, really.
Yeah, and CNN's not doing too good on the ratings nowadays now.
How about that?
Whatever
Garcia.
app that you put out for a month.
Garcia, how do you spend? First off, nobody wants to watch it for free.
Right.
You have CNN Plus for free. Nobody wants to watch it for free. Then you spend $300 million on a station that nobody wants to watch.
Yeah.
And they got what, 15,000 subscribers on $300 million, and had to shut it off.
Yeah, I don't care too much for Don Lemon and his race bait. Yeah, that's another character.
And you know what these guys don't get is they think, well, we're going for the left, we're doing that. No, they're the ones creating the violence. They're the ones creating the problems. They won't let it go.
No. And I remember seeing CNN during the summer 2020 where there's a clip, one of the reporters in the back saying this is a peaceful protest, but the whole city behind them is on fire.
Yeah, some peaceful protest.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Did you see Pence when he went to see the border? Did you see him?
No.
So he makes a trip to go down and see what's going on at the border. And I want your opinion on this. Now, I don't know if he just thought it was inhumane. You know, to me, Pence is he's a real punk. He turned his back on Trump. He's a turncoat to me.
Yeah. And the sad part is, I met the guy, shook his hand, got his autograph twice, and then seeing the way it went down. Yeah.
But then again, you got to think there was probably somebody in reality that knocked on his door with a black bag and said, Pence, look, you're either with us or against us. You could take this black bag. Nancy in the corner over there, how's she doing? How's your kid, Alfredo? Whatever. They're saying names as if they know. Take the bag and stay away. Right. You know, and then that's a tough decision if that did happen. Given what I've seen happen, I wouldn't put it past them. Do you pick your family or do you pick your country? In my opinion, if you're going to run for vice president and you become vice president, just like if you're going to play football, you know you're going to get hit, right? You're going to get a concussion. You might retire with not all there. You chose to play football.
Yeah, it's a decision you took on. Like, for example, veterans that serve their country. That's right. They know the consequences, you know, of what could happen going overseas. Same thing even here in the United States. If you're going to be a vice president,
then you stick with your president. You don't turn your back on it.
Exactly.
So anyway, he goes over to the border, and he will not make eye contact because there's a gazillion of these guys behind the fences. There's towers, and he won't look at them. And I don't know if he just feels inhumane. I don't know if there's something more to it. I don't know. Take a look at this. See, he's not. You see, Garcia, he's not looking.
The watchtower's up here. The watchtower's help us pick out anyone that gets rowdy so we can pull them out
quickly. Look, he won't look. See?
Nope.
Now, do you see anything weird there? Or do you think he just thinks it's inhumane?
Tell you the truth, I think he's more worried they're going to tell him off. And just listening to, I guess, the Border Patrol, they're briefing him and trying to just process it in his head what's going on with what he's telling him.
Or that he just screwed everything up. or this is part of him by not backing his president, maybe, too.
That could be. And if you notice, a lot of them are young males there, probably MS-13. You never know who's trying to get into our country.
Yeah, it's just really weird. And then, you know, behind there's towers on all sides. But, you know, who the hell knows what's in there? No.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
They probably told him, don't make eye contact.
You think so? Probably told him that, right?
Yeah.
Don't make any eye. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it just seems like there's always something up. Did you watch the document on Hunter Biden?
No.
It's actually kind of interesting. His dad's a super dick. You can understand why he's a drug addict.
Well, yeah, like you said, his dad is a
super dick.
Yep.
Worst dad ever. Put him down like crazy, you know. So whatever he did, I would blame the dad on that too.
There you go.
On that computer, how much do you think, don't answer this if you can't, how much do you think Joe Biden is involved? And be careful. Don't, you're if you want, just plead the fifth on things and we can come back to it another time.
Well, I just go off what they've been reporting where, for example, even favors, pay for play, like I call it, where he helped out one of his friends, Hunter Biden's friends, to get into a good university by giving a recommendation letter. And there's a predominant rich father of this kid from China. And we don't know what else could be there. I mean, at the end of the day, Matt Gaetz said it best when he sat in one of the committees and started just grilling on the guy that does with cyber from the FBI and said, do you know what's in Hunter Biden's laptop? The guy said, I don't know. That's not my job. He kept saying, I don't know. He's like, don't worry, I do. I have a copy right here. And kind of started telling him things that were in it.
Do we even know where that copy is? Didn't they say they lost it? The last I heard was that they lost it. I read that in the paper, but who the hell knows?
Well, Matt Gaetz has a copy.
Matt Gaetz, he still does?
He showed it on C-SPAN where he lifts it up and said, I have the copy right here of what's going on, and not just pictures of Hunter Biden somewhere smoking a crack pipe.
How much do you think he was offered for that? He probably doesn't have it anymore.
Probably got lost.
Now, what do we do about inflation? Does that concern you?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, with everything else you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, I got all kinds of bills.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of America. I mean, everybody's trying to survive. Grocery store. Nowadays, back then you leave with 5 bags on maybe $80. Now you're lucky if you're leaving with 2 bags.
So I think it's
gas.
I think it's bullshit.
No.
I do. I don't think anything. I don't think we're out of gas. I mean, we know we can drill. Right?
Well, yeah. The
but I
think pipeline, he destroyed it once came into office. One of the first things he said, we don't need this fracking off the coast. And then he doesn't want to do all this because it's bad for the environment. But then again, he's going to Venezuela and Iran and trying to ask them, hey, can you guys keep exporting oil to us, which makes no damn sense.
And didn't he say at the end of his campaign, I'm not against fracking when he was in Pennsylvania, and
Correct.
he said he wasn't going to stack the courts?
Right.
And he's already making his move to stack the courts now.
Right. And then he goes by what I call a social experiment instead of going by people that are, well qualified. I don't care what your gender is, your background. You shouldn't say coming out the bat, oh, I'm going to put the first gay person, the first African American, or whatever the case is. No, I'm putting whoever's best qualified to represent us, the United States. I don't care who they are, what their background is, and you shouldn't parade that around.
Well, they do that for votes.
Yeah, of course.
Instead of going for what's the best, they do it for votes.
Correct.
Like Trump put in, I always forget his name. He's the first guy ever to separate a brain.
Oh, yeah, Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
The HUD.
Super respect to that guy.
Yes.
Brain surgeon. Only doctor ever to separate two twin brains.
They have a movie on him.
Do that?
Yeah.
I got to watch.
Yeah.
You know what it's called?
My friend's the one that saw it on Lifetime. I don't know.
Lifetime, that scares me.
Well, with his wife. yeah. So it was like, hey, my wife was flipping through the channels and had a movie of Ben Carson, and I looked it up. I forgot. I saw something on YouTube on it, but yeah.
He's what a monster, huh?
Yeah.
Top doctor like that. No reason to go deal with all this bullshit.
Nope.
Trump pulls him, gets him in, and where does he go? To HUD.
Yeah.
To help his people.
Yeah.
This is a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Smart as a rocket times 10, and he goes and helps his own people.
And that's when I laugh when
what
I
a
said
great guy,
he's not
man.
qualified to.
Oh, not
I'm like,
qualified.
are you crazy?
First off, the guy's amazing to begin with, and then the fact that he's willing to go into the hood is just crazy to begin with. But he is, and they're going to pay attention to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a brain surgeon from the hood,
and he came from nothing and became a successful.
Who better to put in for that?
Exactly.
And then for him to accept it is more amicable than anything, too.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I respect it.
And now you got one guy that doesn't know what day it is. You got Pelosi. I don't know what's going on with her.
Oh man. Yeah, that one I can't comment.
Oh, you can't comment on
her?
She pops up and comes and goes.
Well, I did a interview, like I said, with her daughter, and she's actually complete different than.
Yeah, tell me about how that came. That was for HBO, right?
Right, HBO. She does a documentary. She also followed George Bush on the campaign trail when he was running the first time. And
so take me from like the beginning to the end. How she contacted you, or how did that all come about? Just given.
Well, they they go through my attorney. I don't give out my number. And the reason I try to take interviews, and he understands why, and he knows I could speak. I'm not gonna say nothing stupid or nothing like that about the case, is because I feel that this is one of the only ways I could get my story out there. And even if they're the liberal New Yorker or whoever wants to do something, even in Spanish, Telemundo, which I did an interview with them, I don't mind. I welcome, bring it on, and at least I'm gonna get my side of the story out.
Yeah.
But she came in, like I said, nothing. She just wanted to know my background. She appreciated my military service. She's like, I could tell just by meeting with you for the first 10 minutes you weren't there to destroy or try to kill anyone. And I was like, well, I appreciate it.
So she came to you after the January 6th?
Yes. After yeah.
Well, that tells you something about her. Good for her.
Yeah. And I was surprised, complete opposite of what I was thinking that day. So,
is that out yet?
No. It's going to be out probably on a few months, she told me.
You think they'll try to hold that back because she's nothing like her mom?
Well, we'll see. I made a crack the joke where I said, hey, I need a character witness. Would you like to be on? Gave me your number. So
I don't know, man. If your name's on it, I don't know if that's coming out anytime soon, the way you're talking.
So hey, you never know.
So tell me about Telegram. I always hear about Telegram, but I never really looked into it.
Well, Telegram, I could actually say stuff without being shut down. And when I say stuff, I mean my my opinion, which is very conservative. And if people don't like it, there's no safe space there. It's not Facebook. Can't just go and report for what he's saying. So at the end of the day, that's why I like it. It's very hard to get banned unless obviously you're doing something crazy.
So it's kind of what Elon's going to do on a bigger level, kind of, right?
Correct. And
that's cool.
And that's what I would like to see. I'll go back to Twitter.
Have you messed with Truth a lot yet? I know you said you just kind of signed up.
Yeah, I signed up last week. And like I said, my girl's phone is the one that she has it. So I'll get on in the evenings. I'll just check it out and try to post, kind of cross-post between Telegram and Truth Social.
And your Telegram is J6 capital Gabriel Garcia / unapologetic patriot. And
correct.
That's on Telegram. Well, I'll have all that in the description.
Right, correct.
So you got all that going on. So then...
And it's really to help also with J6ers. I'm trying to bring awareness, and we've kind of become like a tight family where we just try to, if someone says, hey, does anyone know about this attorney, or I'm putting in a motion for this, any opinions, if someone wants to look over it. And that's what we've been doing, kind of a big family helping each other out.
How many people in total have they arrested on that January 6th, do you know?
I think they're up to 858 now.
858 people?
And they're saying that there's still supposedly 2,000 more. And they're still arresting. They just arrested a guy last week from Pennsylvania. So they're still going over footage, 14,000 hours of video, and just going over everything, trying to get these guys.
I don't want to ask you because you're in shit. Who do you think is calling the shots to continuously to do this? Obama? It's got to be Obama. All the people we've heard that are in that shit, it's got to be Obama. It's got to be Obama. Yeah. Don't answer.
I'll just smile.
Smile.
It's just like when I was in the military, my boss, a colonel, asked me, hey, we got a VIP coming in. And I already knew because they put it on the news. This was when I was by the border in Texas. It was Obama. I just looked at him. He said, we need 2 captains. You don't need to come in on, if you don't want to, it's a Saturday. And I go, sir, let me guess. The president's coming in? He's like, yep. I go, I can't make it. I have to wash my truck that day. He's like, got it.
Enough said, right?
Yeah. So kept it like that.
Boy, that guy did a number. So give me like when you say, I got to say it right, air assault. Explain to me air assault in the military.
Well, air assault is where you repel off helicopters, help set up drop zones and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, were you in a lot of countries?
Iraq.
Shit.
Twice. The border in Korea, between North and South Korea, by DMZ.
What was worse, Iraq or Korea?
Oh no, Iraq.
That was quick.
Iraq.
Way worse?
Well, yes. The only thing I got to experience in Korea was when Kim Jong-un, the dad, tested out the first nuclear warhead underground. That was like around October 2006. And I remember my commander, I was a young lieutenant at the time, giving us our weapons, our ammo. He's like, we don't know what's going to happen, but go to your war positions and stand by for further orders. I remember staying out there for like 42 hours, tired as hell.
Damn.
Nothing happened, thank God, and got brought back into the base.
Now, when you're in that helicopter with those missiles, was this during fighting, or were you testing them? Like, or were you actually hitting the button in the helicopter?
No, well, what I did was called air defense. That was on the ground with Patriot missile systems, and pretty much, yes, I'll be the one that fires. Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
Yeah.
The adrenaline like crazy?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
Now, how many years was it before you were able to get in the helicopter with those weapons and fly it, and even on the ground with the missiles? How long did it take till you got to that point where you had that capability, where you were allowed to do it, or you were that level that you could do it?
Well, I was at that level. I came in as an officer. I was enlisted first in the infantry, and then went to University of Florida through ROTC and decided to do air defense. But the reason I joined was because back then they had these missiles on tanks, and I was like, "This is cool shit." You got
I'm in a fucking tank, right?
Yeah, you're in a tank, and you can shoot missiles out of it too, not just
win-win.
Yeah. So, and they took them after once the Iraq War started. They kind of the Department of Defense said, "Hey, we don't need these; they're kind of obsolete." So, then I got stuck with the more technical stuff where I felt like I was in some kind of spaceship with this big circle, a bunch of buttons, and that's the Patriot system.
And how long did you do that for?
I want to say about good 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the coolest thing you've seen? The coolest. Not the most like gruesome or like nightmare, but just a cool thing that you saw where you're like, wow, this is cool.
Well, I think it was when we would bag in guys, especially, I don't remember if you remember the deck of cards, you know, looking through and say, okay. We'll
so for people that don't know, can you explain it? The deck of cards?
That was during the Bush administration. They gave out I think it was 52, 51, whatever it was, the cards, obviously Saddam being the ace. And then you had your lower guys, his interior minister, and all the way down to generals and all that. And they'll give a card, and that way it's like playing cards, and then you have it there, and soldiers could also play cards. So win-win situation. What I was going to say was just bringing light to it that not everyone that was there in J6 were not insurrectionists. Definitely not trying to take over government. For example, I'll go back to like the Oath Keepers or Proud Boys, especially the Proud Boys. These guys can't even decide what beer to drink after an event. A lot of them, yes, they're veterans, and at the end of the day, they weren't there. There was no plan. Like they keep saying, the feds, and that just want to make sure that's cleared up and people understand that.
So do you think if you could get together, all of you, not as a cult, just a lot of you guys that are pending sentencing, pending court, all got together, got with your lawyers as a team and fought it. Do you think that would help out at all?
Yes. And it's I'm sure a lot of people cross-talk.
Yeah.
And I know we do. Like I said in my chat, and just bounce ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah. One last thing, because I know you got to go. You got 100 things going on. Maybe next week, shoot you back down or something if you have time. I wanted to ask you about, John Cena. Remember how everybody was killing him about making an apology to China?
Yes.
For the Fast and the Furious. So when that was happening, I was looking it up. Do you know why he apologized? So in opening weekend, the movie made $160 million. Guess how much of that $160 million was from China?
I want to say maybe $100 million.
138.
Holy crap!
So that's why he apologized to China. I don't know, man. 138 million.
I'm apologizing too.
Me too. I was waiting for you to say it first. Yeah. But I got 28 million, and I don't know what cut he got out of that. I'm sure a big part of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm apologizing, and I was killing him when he did it. I was like, what a punk. But I didn't realize that opening weekend, 90% of the income was China,
Wow.
And that's why you see these athletes doing this. Other than that NBA guy, he didn't give a shit. What's his name, Rob?
The
huge guy.
Oh, yes.
He didn't care.
No. Yeah.
He wasn't, but, he's not American.
Yeah.
Big difference.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah. So, Garcia, man, I have all this stuff in the description for you. Thank you for your time.
Oh, absolutely.
Got to finish up. Got a lot more to go over, but
Yep.
you got a lot going on. Miami's always a nightmare at this time.
It is.
But we'll finish everything off.
I'm glad to be here, and I'll have the opportunity to speak here, and I'll come here anytime.
Anytime you want to come, and we'll definitely finish this off, and I get this out for you, get the word out. So go over everything again, your fundraiser, and why should somebody donate to the fundraiser that we'll have in the description?
Yes, so it's Give, Send, Go, and it's under Captain Gabriel Garcia. And the reason is I'm trying to fight against the injustice that's being brought upon me for especially the charge of obstruction of justice. And it's going to take a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of time. And I know I'm looking at probably about $100,000, because at the end of the day, I know it's not going to stop in D.C. and possibly even more. I'm going to have to appeal, and who knows, might even end up my case in the Supreme Court.
Probably will go to the 7th Circuit.
Probably.
So. And you can, if you're listening, you can go to the website And you can donate $7 anonymously. Nobody will know it's you. You can donate $25, reoccurring. Every dollar counts, even $7.
Yeah,
Go to the site. He's getting destroyed. Another one getting destroyed that shouldn't be. This guy's got a Bronze Star, fought for the country, dropped missiles on motherfuckers. Sorry, but
No,
true.
True.
And the reason why everything is the way it is now is partially because of you. So every $7 counts, right?
Yeah, anything,
It
even
adds up,
five.
man.
Yeah,
Even $5.
It all adds up at the end of the day, and it's gonna go. Like I said, I'm going up against an army from the United States government.
You're going up against the mob.
Yeah.
So you're going up against.
And out of all places in D.C.
Yeah.
So
Try to get a change of jurisdiction. I'm sure they'll sign off.
Well, that's what I actually paid a good amount of money to do the survey, like I said, where they went and asked over 400 different participants what they think, and it wasn't pretty.
Keep getting them continuances, man.
Yeah, have to.
Well, I got your back, and
thank you,
and all your friends back, and definitely be checking up on you, and we'll definitely get you back in here in a week and a half to finish it off.
Absolutely,
you got to get all this stuff out.
Yeah, I know we were back and forth for a while, and then finally worked out. So I'm glad of it.
Good, we broke the ice. So next time, boom.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you,
Joe Biden, a man who's so out of it he can't even control his own bowels. Let me ask you a question. Do you think when President John F. Kennedy went to Vienna to meet with Nikita Khrushchev to lessen tensions in the world, do you think he shit his pants?
No.
Okay, so when Richard Nixon was working out the fine points satellite, I should say nuclear deterrent satellite limitation, his famous nuclear deterrent agreement with Brezhnev, do you think he, crapped his pantaloons?
I don't think Nixon flinched at anything, personally.
So do you think when Jimmy Carter was at Camp David working out the Camp David Accords with Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin, do you think he crapped his drawers?
I would have to say no on that one, too.
So when President Donald Trump met with the Queen of England, do you think he dropped a deuce? What do you think?
No.
Well, let me tell you something.
This podcast is brought to you by Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver a big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, has a smooth, easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, co-eds, road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Monster Energy is more than just the green OG. Monster has Monster Ultra, Juice Monster, Monster Hydro, Rehab Monster, Dragon Tea, Monster Max, Muscle Monster, and many more. Buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, or go to monsterenergy.com and believe me, you'll find a place. Unleash the beast. Monster Energy.
Joe Biden met with the Pope, he shit his pants, and now the entire country is shitting a brick. Here's how you know this is true. If you look very carefully, they released photographs of Joe Biden before and after his meeting with the Pope. He's wearing the same suit jacket in both pictures, but in one of the pictures, the suit pants color doesn't match the jacket. Oh, that's because the President of the United States humiliated our country by soiling his pants. How do I know that he shit his pants? I'll tell you. A Secret Service agent told me that the drug that they're using to keep him alert has a side effect of violent diarrhea. This is your president, man. Do you think Putin's afraid of him? You think Putin was shaking over their recent meeting? Here's my prediction. In the case of Putin, I don't know. Joe says we're going to put sanctions on him. Putin's got to be rolling on the ground. Sanctions.
He is. They're
going to do nothing. We're taking it. They will take it.
I know.
By the way, the majority of people in Crimea do speak Russian. And not Ukrainian, just as you know. And there have been plebiscites there. I cannot speak as to how honest those votes have been, but the people did overwhelmingly vote to leave Ukraine and join Russia. Now, the leftists at Media Matters for America say, there you go, Stone is making excuses for Putin. No, I'm just stating facts. Those are just the facts. Here are the facts. Putin will make a buffoon out of Joe Biden in Ukraine, just as they made fools out of us in Afghanistan. 8 billion. Pardon me, I think I have this wrong. $86 billion worth of military equipment. This makes the government of Afghanistan the fourth best equipped military on the face of the planet. Why, if you were leaving, and by the way, I don't necessarily believe that withdrawing our troops from the Middle East was a bad thing. I think it was the right thing to do. The president who started doing it, of course, was Donald Trump. But you use your sophisticated military hardware, your drones and your drone capability. If we can hit a specific terrorist at his dinner table from a satellite, then we can take out all this material very easily. Instead, we left it there because the generals and Joe want to
equip them.
To equip them. So when the president says General Milley's an idiot, no, Mr. President, he's not an idiot. He's a traitor, not an idiot.
And a smart traitor.
Well, so far he's gotten away with it.
He's winning.
Ultimately, General Milley should stand trial for treason.
This podcast is brought to you by StoneColdTruth.com. That's StoneColdTruth.com. Personally hand-signed presidential pardons, premium cotton tees for men and women, signed books such as the New York Times bestseller, Stone's Rules. Also another New York Times bestseller, The Man Who Killed Kennedy. Only signed when purchased at StoneColdTruth.com. Please take a second and check out StoneDefenseFund.com. Have you ever been looking for your AirPods or they keep breaking? Check out RogerStone.com. Pick up a wide variety of AirPod case covers, coffee mugs, men and women tank tops, sweatshirts, and more. That's RogerStone.com. But you know that will never happen.
Well, we don't know. I honestly know, as someone involved in 11 presidential elections, who's steeped in a democratic system, I think we're heading for a shooting civil war between Americans. That's where I fear we're heading. I pray to God that I'm wrong, but I do know who's armed and ready.
How far do you think that, if that were to happen, what kind of time frame are you seeing that?
Well, it's impossible to say. Here's what I know is the overall strength of our military has been allowed to atrophy to the point that the ruling junta now, that's illegitimate, the illegitimate government now in place, would have to count on the individual state National Guards to fire on their neighbors. So will members of the Florida National Guard fire on their next door neighbors, or will they not? It's a question I can't answer. There's not enough of a large standing army to put down an insurrection. If that's what it was, they would, of course, be calling it a revolution. This government's not legitimate. I don't advocate violence. I'd like to see us win an election. I'd like to see us turn this around in an election. But if a point comes where they drag children out of their homes to try to forcibly inoculate them, or if they choose to try to take the constitutionally guaranteed ownership of firearms away from people, well, you're sitting on a powder keg. It would be a horrific thing for our democracy. I pray against it every day. I pray for peace, but it is the war state. It is the deep state. It is the authoritarian government headed by the puppet Joe Biden, who he's demented. He seems to be confused, and we know for a fact that he's incontinent.
I want to go back to the Afghanistan thing real quick because I had a big conversation with Tig about it. Now, they said 30 days to get out of there. Then they came back and they said 2 weeks. Then they came back and they said 72 hours. Now, why such a rush? And I mean, I know they got most out in that time, but that's insane to say, look, in 72 hours, make all this happen. When you give them a month and then 2 weeks and then 72 hours. And I think it was originally 3 months, then a month, then 2 weeks and 72 hours.
I think the answer lies in the fact that the Afghanis are taking their cues from what's going on around them. So when we unilaterally just ended the sanctions against the Iranians, and the Iranians' immediate response was to begin raining Israel with missiles again, when the North Koreans started up their nuclear weapons development program, when the Chinese began harassing American-flagged ships in the South China Sea. When Putin began moving his troops along the border of Crimea, do you not think the Afghanis saw this and said, Joe Biden's weak. You can do anything you want to this guy. Let's tell him he's got 72 hours to get out of town. This is exactly what they did. Weakness breeds weakness. This administration exudes weakness. And people say to me, oh, wouldn't it be terrible if the president passed away or if he had to be removed under the 25th Amendment? And then we'd have the vice president, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, like Joe Biden, is running nothing other than perhaps her mouth. And that mouth's had a lot of experience, but we're not going to go there. She's not running the country. They'd keep her in place as a puppet like they do now. But I do know that Ron Klain, who runs domestic policy for the Biden administration, and Susan Rice, who, by the way, is among those who unmasked me and others and therefore should be sitting in a federal penitentiary right now, is running foreign policy. They go to the Obama compound in the Calorama section of D.C. about 7 every morning for a Skype call or a Zoom call with the real president of the United States.
And who would that be?
Barack Hussein Obama. He is calling the shots. She has no authority. Kamala Harris, she has no authority. Joe Biden has no authority. Joe Biden is being locked in a room and fed gruel. That's speculation, but I've been around the block. I know how this works.
You have. How many? 11?
11 national presidential candidates.
Now, where do you think the Clintons' position is in this? Because you just said Obama. So where are the Clintons playing their role? Because they got to be in this somewhere.
Well, we have to remember the Clintons would steal a hot stove. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Where are they at?
Clinton is a mean-spirited, foul-mouthed, short-tempered kleptocrat who would steal anything that isn't nailed down.
Roger, she looks like she's gearing up to run.
She is. She's gearing up to grab opportunity. So, in other words, urge Biden to do something. For example, let's stop our gas and oil production in the United States and start buying again from Russia and from OPEC. Solid advice from the Clintons.